Hello, this is John Wright from Stellar Assets with an update for the month of July. Before giving the update, quick note on risk versus return. You can see this chart in front of you, conceptual in nature, but um, the obviously all investors know the higher the risk, the higher reward. We're not here to increase your risk, we're here to increase your reward. And we believe that with the right mix of equity and options, we can do that. But first, the results for the month of July. July, another fantastic month for Stellar clients. Our average equity accounts were up 4.1% versus 2.2% for the S&P. Year to date, that means that comes to 13.2% for equity clients versus 7.8% for the S&P. And if you then annualize that, as shown on the chart here, it would be 23% for equity clients, shown in pink, versus 13% for S&P, assuming both continue to track as they have for the first 7 months of the year. On the option front, our option accounts continue to be stellar in nature. This month, option accounts were up 18.3% versus the 2.2% for the S&P 500. Year to date, options are up 35%, and as shown on this graph, up 60% year to date. That is similar to both 2024 and 2023 when we had 67% and 58% returns. So it continues to be consistent over the last 3+ years. Back to the risk versus reward. Of course, many of you are invested in part of your portfolio in the S&P 500. If you measure downside performance, this is standard deviation looking at the downside because we like upside deviations. The S&P 500 has similar downside deviation to a portfolio made up of 80% equity and 20% options as managed by Stellar Assets. But historically, the Stellar portfolio would have twice the returns, over twice the returns. So encourage you to consider shifting part of your S&P holdings into an 80-20 mix or something similar depending on your risk profile. Again, we're not here to skew your risk. We're here to maximize the return for that level of risk. If you'd like to hear more about this concept, I'm going to include a link on the bottom of this video with podcasts that I did talking about outperforming the S&P 500 by using a small amount of options in your portfolio. I just want to thank you for being a client. Referrals and feedback are always welcome. Quick disclaimer, individual results vary. Results are unaudited and may be volatile, and invest at your own risk. Thank you very much.